Howdy you all you space mom sims. Today I will show you my less brain dead marked for death build for Ash. This is just a fun build, so I hope you like it. This is a mixture of the Blade Storm and marked for death nuke from Ash. It is somehow good in Steel Path missions, in my opinion. So let me share it to you. Here are some clips and demonstrations about it. This is not like the other builds that will nuke instantly the enemies, but it is fun and it can do a lot of damage because of the bleed effect. The insane bleed effect came from the combo counter of your melee, marked for death and Ash's passive. This is the performance of this build in gameplay in Steel Path Void Moth. The only downsides of this build is that sometimes the bleed explosion is getting blocked by walls. Look at this acolytes on how fast it dies from bleed procs. So let us proceed to the build. The important mods in here are the Seal Charge, because your melee will serve an important part of your gameplay, and the Rising Storm augment from Ash, in order to keep your combo counter always at max, and of course I subsume the marked for death ability that came from the helmet. In order for this build to work, you will need the arcane trickery in this build because it will make you invisible all the time, and being invisible will lower the consumption of your Blade Storm. It will also make you less use your main invisibility ability from Ash, and of course Arcane Energize. This is a quality of life arcane for all Warframe because this will always keep your energy high up and in order to keep your momentum. For melee I use the Ganao Prime because it is a decent melee, and you can also use it to kill a lot of enemies at a short period of time. It is also comfortable to use. Then this Kuva Nukor to quickly proc status, making a lot easier to kill enemies, and it will buff your melee. You can use whatever primary you want, but in here I used the Kuva Chakra. I used it to kill heavy targets. For the survivability of your Ash, we will mainly use the Arcane Trickery for invisibility and the Panzer Volfifilla. This spec will let us to spread viral for easier kills, and it will give us life steal for every enemy that are affected by its viral. This Volfifilla will save you from death because of the Martyr Symbiosis mod. This has a good synergy to your Ash because your Ash Volfifilla store health from enemies' death. The Zenurik Energizing Dash will serve as your assurance to help maintain your energy and to support your Arcane Energize when it comes to maintaining energy. The first tip to know is that it is important to max your combo counter first before performing the marked for death and Blade Storm in order for the massive damage to happen.
is one family in a sweet harmony. Someday we'll all be free.
It is also important to know that in the middle of the Blade Storm, you can cast again the Marked for Death again into the targets of your Blade Storm, to make a chain of nuke of your abilities synergy. Another tip is that your build is a 190% range. That is why when you cast your invisibility you will stagger a lot of enemies around, and it will serve as one of your crowd control abilities too. Another tip is that you can always use your melee and Nukor as emergency weapons, because you can still deal a lot of damage with your melee with Ash passive ability. Invisibility and Nukor will help your melee to increase its damage. Using your melee you can easily kill this annoying boy who always talks about his toy Giannis key and other more mini bosses or heavy targets that you might encounter. In a summary gameplay you need to build up your combo first, then use the Marked for Death and Blade Storm. Also remember that you can cast your Marked for Death from enemies that are affected by your Blade Storm. And keep also in mind that you can always use your invisibility as crowd control, and you can always use your melee as emergency tools. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe. But hey, this build's work and it is a fun build and gameplay for me.